Hi everyone, in this video we're going to talk about quartiles and the 5-number summary. So the data I'm looking at here is our Portland weather data, and the dates I copied and pasted here were August 1st of 2019 through August 31st of 2019. So here in fall term that is pretty recent. You might actually remember the month. And here I just deleted all the columns we didn't need. We're going to be looking at precipitation, which is rainfall, average temperature, maximum temperature, and minimum temperature. So there are actually a couple more columns we don't really need here. So if you want to delete a whole column, you can right click on it and then just select delete and get rid of it. And I'll just do that with latitude, longitude, and elevation. And if you want to, you can right click and actually you can just press the D key and that gets rid of it too. So this, I'm going to leave the information on the weather station just so we don't forget what we're looking at if we come back to this. But let's go ahead and start our calculations. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to leave some white space in between our data for reasons we'll see soon, and I'm going to just put some summary statistics. So we're going to want summary statistics for all 4 of these variables. So the easiest thing to do is just copy these and paste them over here. And the summary statistics we're going to calculate in this video are the min, something called Q1, the median, something called Q3, and the max. And the min and max, let's do first because those are the easiest. The min, the command is equals min. You can see it comes up here, start parentheses or auto-complete it, and then just click and drag to select the ones for precipitation. And the minimum for rainfall is not surprisingly 0. You can see most of the entries are 0. So do the max next, so type equals max, parentheses, select all of these. Again, you can probably see it's going to be this 0.11, but it's not, it's 0.8. Oh, funny. Anyway, so let's do the median next. The median is the value that's in the center if you arrange them in ascending or descending order. Right now they're sorted by date. So you can sort them by ascending order. Just click in the column you want to sort. And the quickest way to do it is go to data and then click this A to Z to go from smallest to largest. And you see it keeps all the days together, like it keeps the row, like all those numbers consistent. It just kind of shuffles the rows around. And you can see that zeros were, pretty much all over the month except for 7 different days down here when it rained a little bit. This day was quite rainy actually. But so the median is the middle value, which August has 31 days. That would be the 16th. So it is right here. The median would be 0. And you can see that there's actually a lot of days that are more than 0. So the median is kind of weird in this case because it's not like half of the days had more than 0 and half had less. So that's why we put in some other statistics too. But let's go ahead and calculate that with the formula equals median. We select all of these and good. So the median isn't really the perfect statistic here because it doesn't really tell us everything. There are actually a lot of days that were 0 and some on the upper end which were anywhere from 0.01 to 0.8. So that's where we have this idea of the quartiles. The median splits the data set into sort of the lowest half and the biggest half. So Q1 will split it into like the lowest 25% and the highest 75%. And Q3 is the opposite. It will split it into the lowest 75% and the highest 25%. Now, the only thing is that there are 31 days, and 31 is not divisible by 4, so we're not going to have a perfect 25-75 split. If you looked at where Q1 is, well, what is the lowest 7.5, I think, days of the month? It's something like down here, somewhere in there. But that'll make more sense, I think, when we look at these other fields too. But for now, let's just calculate it. So the command we're going to use is called quartile. And if you start typing that, you notice it brings up a few options. The one we're going to use in this class is quartile.exe. So click on that and then just select these. Now this formula is a little different. You can see it says array, comma, quart. And so we enter our array, D2 to D32. Then we press comma. Which quartile do we want? First, second quartile is the median, or third. And for this one, we want the first quartile because we're doing Q1. So end the parentheses and then press enter. It's going to tell us that's 0. No big surprise. Let's do the same thing for the third quartile. And select the data. And this time press comma 3 for the third quartile or select it from the menu here. End your parentheses, go. Still 0. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So let's do these same calculations for our temperatures and see how that might make a little more sense. So the thing is, we already typed in all these commands for the precipitation. Do we need to type them all in again for the average, max, and min temperatures? No, that's the nice thing about spreadsheets. We type them in once, and so they're in the same order from left to right, rain, average, max, min. So we can just take these formulas and we can copy, paste, paste, and or you can do it all at once, but either way. So you see that when we do that, it automatically updates our link. So instead of referring to column D, we're now referring to column E in this one. We're now referring to column F for this one and G for this one. There'll be some times later in the term when we don't want the references to update as well when we copy paste, but that's a few weeks in the future. For now, just make sure you're checking and making sure it's referring to what you want it to. The easiest way to get into a formula is just to click up here in the address bar, make sure it's highlighting what you want. And the easiest way to get out of it is just to press the escape key on the keyboard. So now let's look at what these quartiles are really telling us. Let's sort this by average temperature. So click in the column for average temperature and click this A to Z sort again. So this is going to go from 63 to 79 degrees in order of smallest to largest average temperature. So the min is clearly 63, the max is 79. The median here at 70 would be the one in the middle, which should be one of these two. They're the same, but it's whichever day is, the right in the middle of these. There are 31 of them, so it'd be whichever one is number 16 down. So Q1, though, is going to be one that's like 7.5 down. I'm pretty sure I'm doing that math right. So if we go here, we're going to try to divide this data set of 31 values into a lower 25% of them and the upper 75% of them. So we just look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got a bunch of 68s in a row here, so it kind of makes sense to say, oh, 68 would sort of be the lowest 25% of them after that. And then Q3 is 74. So if we counted down or up 7 here, or whatever, so it should be somewhere in this range, somewhere around 73, 74. There's different methods to calculate it, but it doesn't matter all that much. We're using weather data right now, so a lot of times it's just sort of like it's one of the values in there. The important thing is to know how to calculate it in Excel and kind of know what it means. We're kind of have this thing here. Now this is our 5-number summary that's telling us the spread of these numbers. The minimum is 63. 68 was about 25% of the days were between 63 and 68. About 50% of the days were less than 70 or more than 70. And about 25% of the days, the average temperature was between 74 and 79. And you can see the same thing for like the maximum temperature. 71 was the lowest end. These were the 25% coolest days. These were the 25% hottest days. And same thing for the minimums. And the other thing to notice here is just look at your information. Your minimums went from 71 to 98. So that's quite a, sorry, your maximums went from 71 to 98, which is quite a spread. This day was, it's a nice day, and this day is quite hot. But your minimums, usually overnight, did not vary that much. They only went from 55 to 66. So the 5-number summary really gives you a good idea of how spread out your data is. And we're going to keep looking at spread of data in future videos, but that will probably be next week or in class or something. Anyway, I will see you all there.